Everyone, welcome back to another Godzilla Battleline video, and today we got the tier list for Season 20 this season because there was almost no changes to anything in the game, period. Like, very, very little changes. The only things that got even remotely changed a little bit, I'm not talking about leaders here, we had some good leader changes, okay? Not a lot of units changed. We have 2 unit buffs from this season. We have Godzilla 2021, and we have Kong. We have Godzilla, or Mechagodzilla 2021 added to the game for the first time. And we got another season with more pieces on the 4th Angel. And I think the results of actually getting the 4th Angel to a high level now speaks for themselves. So I'm going to be reevaluating the 4th Angel as well. Even if G21 and Kong did not get changed this season, I would have Kong or G21. Would have done it for them. But fortunate enough for you guys, I have to redo them because they got buffed. So let's just start with the 4th Angel, I guess, right? So, 4th Angel. Last season, I had him around here. I'm putting the 4th Angel, I think. I think the top of A is probably the best spot for him. Oh, look, I got double mouse over there. That's weird. So, I believe that's probably the best spot for him at the moment. I factor of this change from him going from mid-A to high-A is the levels. The units were Kiryu, or Kiryu Kai, I should say. Well, Kiryu and Kiryu Kai and Unit 1. The 4th Angel was introduced halfway through the season and was not able to be rented, so the first season he was introduced, not very good. Second season, which was last month that he was in the game, it's alright. Level 20 or higher, and it is noticeably shifting the meta. Like, it is noticeable. That deck that I posted, that Stagathi made, that video only has like 1,000 views, but I'm seeing that, or just stay at the top of A. I'm putting him at the top of A for this season. Really good unit. I highly recommend trying to focus up and level up your 4th Angel. And also at level 29. So level him up in the studio mode if you haven't already. Level him up in your arena. Not going to spend too much time on him because we got, the 3, main monsters that we're going to be talking about. We'll start with Godzilla 2021 first. I guess in the order that they're down here. This season, Godzilla 2 Zayton to about here. I just switched up the whole thing. I think this is probably better. This looks better. So I switched out Zayton and Manila and Shin. I flipped them around over here, and I replaced the Zayton with G21 over here. I think this works. I think G21 is better than how he was. He's not amazing, right? He's better. It makes him a little bit harder to kill, and he's doing more damage. But it's still, he's still super counterable. Manila counters him. The M-Boss counter him. Gigan 04 counters him very, very well. He's Kamacuras, or the #1 threat, right? He's extremely counterable. He's extremely easy to telegraph. You really got to try hard to get him to work really well. But I think his stats speak for themselves, and the stats are what has him in B. I think just in pure usability, I'm putting him in C. Because as soon as I see a G21, I'm like, have to kill it before it just runs through my leader, and then I wait for your 6 cost or your whatever it is. Your 6 cost Godzilla to come to my leader, and then I just drop the Kamacuras and I nuke him in like 3 seconds. Sorry, but it's true. I think he's good. I don't think he's really good. I don't think he's really bad. I think G21 is just perfectly fine. If you're a brand new player to the game and you've been using him this season with the rented levels, go for it. More power to you. I just want you to know that next season, when you can no longer rent your G21 at level 12 max, right, and yours is then becomes 2, it's not going to be nearly as usable. I'm just letting you know. But this season, I think this is totally a safe spot for him. I don't really have any arguments against it. I think he's decent. I haven't personally run up into any that I couldn't handle this season, and that's why he's in B. And any that I couldn't really handle in general. I think the only time I ever really struggled with him is in fixed against you guys on stream. So take that as you will, but this is not a fixed tier list. This is a ranked one. Next is Kong. Now, Kong has he got this season his movement speed increased, so Kong is faster. Fun fact, this is the second time Kong has had his movement speed increased. The first time was, I think, maybe a few months after he was added to the game. They, quote, increased his movement speed in water to reflect his adventures at sea. Something along those lines. Something like ridiculous thing that they said to justify why he can move faster in water but not G21. Doesn't matter. Kong got his movement speed boost. Does that make him better than before? I don't think so. I think he's just fine. I think he is better than Shin That's for sure. I think he's probably about here, right? Maybe even I bring Zayton down more and I swap him there. That. He's basically G89 for 1 less energy. He has very similar stats. His stats are not as high as G89's are at the same level. You have to get a lot more levels on Kong to make him super viable, but he just is G89. He's literally a G89 clone, just with less. The stats aren't as good because you need to have him at a higher level. But if you get him at a good level, you can use him instead, right? That's the thing. That's Kong's entire role, this entire history of GBL. He's literally the second character to ever have been added to the game, and his role has not changed. He is just a replacement G89 for when you have your Kong at level like 30 or 40, right? And even then, if you want to run G89 in the field, he might be a better substitute. I don't have a huge Kong, so I wouldn't know. But still very good in Gigan decks, very good ground brawler. Kong is good. Kong is decent, like good. He's all around a good character. He's not the best. I would have preferred for this season, instead of an increase to his movement speed, I think they should have increased his HP, because not being able to attack flyers is probably the most detrimental thing to most units. So if he doesn't have some other condition that makes him special, he's going to fall off by the wayside. That's what happened to GD9. GD9 was at one point the best unit in the game, but as soon as the flyers started becoming really prevalent, he was nixed immediately. He went all the way from the top of S to B, to mid to low B. Kong, it'll happen to Kong too. He's just slightly better because he's cheaper and his stats are good if you get him at like a super high level. But Fourth Angel and Anguirus are at the top of A, and they cannot hit flying either. Anguirus is super cheap and has a ton of health for his cost. The Fourth Angel is a 5 cost with a massive single target attack and then an explosion that does a ridiculous amount of damage. Kong doesn't have that. He has a little bit above average health, but not like a crazy amount, and then his damage is decent. That's what it is at the end of the day, unfortunately. I got an itch on my nose. Ignore that. But those are the two Monsterverse characters that we've had in the game for a long time. Godzilla 21 had the biggest changes of the two of them, but it's still not helping him really see meta play. He's more of like a fun unit. I wouldn't even say he's a plug-and-play unit. I think Fourth Angel is a plug-and-play unit. You could put him or even Gigan 04 in any deck, and it's just going to make them better, right? You put G21 in a deck, and you kind of have to play around him to get him to be at his max capacity. Kong is plug-and-play. Kong you can put in a Gigan Rush deck instead of whatever else you wanted, and he'll do fine. He'll do really good. You can put him in any deck as a ground tank, and he's fine, right? But G21, you kind of have to manipulate your deck a little bit to use him well. So that was my review of the Fourth Angel, G21, and Kong, and then I did some slight rearranging over here with Shin Godzilla, Zayton, and Manila to accompany these two goons, but I think it works out pretty well. So finally, we have the man of the hour, the man of the season is Mechagodzilla 21. Mechagodzilla 21 is an interesting unit. Mechagodzilla 21 has 3 different attack phases. He has his tail scorpion pincer, and then he has this punch that has like minor AoE, and then he has missiles that have massive AoE. He's a 6 cost. He has really good stats. He cannot hit flying. And I'm not knocking him down a peg for not hitting flying. I don't think that's a major issue for him, because he technically can hit flying on accident once you get him to below a certain threshold of health. I'm not remembering what it is off the top of my head. It's like, I think it's every 33% health that you go down with him, his attacks change. So it starts off with the scorpion, you go to about 33% or 50% health, and it becomes the punch, and you get to like the last remaining like 33% or like 25% of his health, whatever it is, and then he has the missile spray. The missile spray will hit air. So if you can get your enemy's air units within range of him, he'll hit them, and it does really good damage. So the missile spray is really good. Don't be fooled. Like, his attacks are powerful. He's a strong character. What brings him down is how close he needs to get to do any attacks. He has to basically be touching the enemy to do anything. Not great. Not great, considering things like Batra don't need to be close, or they're close, but they could probably get a hit off right before most other characters attack. Ultraman doesn't have to be close. Gigan 04 will grab you from like a mile away. Biollante doesn't have to be close. Kiryu doesn't have to be close. These are all units that are seeing a ton of play. Even I've seen a lot of Super X and Ultima this season. They don't need to be close either. And Godzilla Final Wars, who's now been in the game for a few months, people have him leveled. I've seen him a few times, and he'll just push MG21 away. It's the biggest detriment to him is how close he has to get. It's not the attacks. The attacks are fine. Him not hitting air is fine. He can hit air on accident. I'm not worried about that. If he was just he's all around like a supreme ground brawler. He'll work really well in a rush deck, in a Gigan rush deck. It's just he needs to be so close, and he's a 6 cost. And so you're paying 6 costs for him to get right up into the middle of the battle, and he'll die pretty quickly. Because he has a decent attack speed, he has really good stats, he has really good attack, he has really good health. He has an okay to decent attack speed. His range is so small. It is so small that he gets into the middle of like a fucking, I was gonna say a rustle or a tumble or a scrap. He's gonna get in the middle of a fucking scrap, and he's just gonna die, right? He's gonna get off one attack. Maybe it's his punch, maybe it's his missiles, and you get lucky and you hit a lot. It's not going to work out. You know who I would rather have close range, getting in the middle of a scrap, a confrontation, and winning it? The 4th Angel, who can't hit air, has a 3-second attack time, which is longer than Mechagodzilla 21, but when he dies, he explodes, and he basically kills everything. He's like a miniature nuke. He's like a pocket nuke. Mechagodzilla 21, he shows up, he launches his missiles, maybe he hits a Mothra Leo by accident, and then he dies. His stats are really good. I wish his attacks were different. If he maybe didn't even do the punch and the scorpion tail, if he just shot missiles from like, I don't know, what's good range? If he like shot missiles from the same range like that King Ghidorah, Mecha King Ghidorah uses lightning, and he just shot his missiles, he would be at the top of A. For sure. For sure. It's his range. He has to get so close. Maybe if they, I don't know how they would even fix it at this point because his animations are in. I can't imagine they're going to change him fundamentally in how he plays. I don't know what he would need. Maybe he would need more health, so he'll survive longer because he has to get in the middle of the battle to do anything. He has to get right up on your opponent, and when in, you know, the world of AoE right now, this is not the season for him, right? If he was introduced, I don't know, maybe like 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, he probably would have been fine. But now, because of the Burning Godzilla and the 4th Angels that are running around everywhere, he's getting absolutely cooked by everything, right? It's not really his time to shine. I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's great. I think he's okay, and he's rentable at level 12 right now. It is what it is. I am putting him... Well, he's definitely better than Zayton. I think he might be better than Kong. I'm going to put him about here. I think this is probably a good spot for him. I don't really foresee any of the Monsterverse characters leaving B anytime soon. They're all really good, but have major drawbacks. So it makes them really difficult to put into like a more meta-defining deck. The way I see it with the tier list is that, you know, the S plus, S, and A are all units that are really gonna like raise your team to the next level, right? They always kind of have been. I think maybe the only ones I'm not settled on is Godzilla 04 because he's kind of newer, but I think all the characters in A and up are really gonna elevate your team to like the next level. B tier, I think, is just for everyone that's like, it's nice to have, they're not required, they're good, but they're not like the best at what they do, but they're really good. They're good at it, they're not the best. And then C and D are just like whatevers, right? I think Mechagodzilla's at the higher end of the B tier. I don't want to be super mean to him in his debut season, but he's really just not performing as well as we would hope, and I'm 99% sure it's because he has to get right up your enemy's ass to do anything even remotely substantial. And all the meta units are either in the air, and he can't hit that on purpose, he can't target them, he'll hit them on accident, or the meta units are on the ground and exploding when they die, and he's going to get caught up in the explosion every single time because he has to basically be touching the enemy to do anything to them, and it's killing him this season. This was not the season for him, unfortunate, but it's true. That's what I got for you guys today. I know this was late. I know a lot of you guys wanted the live stream. I forgot. to do the live stream for it. I was thinking about doing it tonight, but then I kind of have to stream tomorrow for the new season anyway, so it's just not gonna happen. Not in the cards, not in the budget. It is what it is. But if you liked this one, let me know. I'll post this in the Discord if I remember to do that. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all on the next one. Oh, actually, I will catch you all in the new season. Bye bye.